Hello. Today, once again, I'm recording in the village of Tsununa for a change. I don't come out here very often, but I ended up here again today, so I thought this would be a beautiful place. I mean, look at that beautiful view over the lake towards the volcanoes Toliman and Atitlan. And I thought this would be a wonderful place to record my Trecena video for the Trecena of Ix. So, we are coming up to a very, very interesting and important part of the year. The Trecena of Ix will cover the 13 final days of the Mayan solar year. The new Mayan solar year, the 365-day year, will begin on the day 1 Kech. So that means that it will be called 1 Kech the whole year. Okay? I know that that's a kind of bit confusing, but it's kind of interesting just to see how, like, it doesn't, well, it will happen once every 13 years, to be honest, but, like, you know, kind of like, it's just really interesting to see that this is, you know, kind of like this Trecena that's going to lead up to a new solar year, but it's also the beginning of a new 13-year period. Now, I will do videos later on during the Trecena about my ideas about the 5 final days of the year called Tzaping Ir, and about the new year coming in on Hunkirch. Okay, so I'll talk about them. I'm going to slip in a few little things as we go through this video today, just because I think that they are, you know, kind of like worth looking at and worth thinking about. So, let's begin the Trecena of Ix with the day 1 Ix, which will fall on the 5th of February 2026. So we have Ix, the Nawal of the Mother Earth, the Nawal of our connection to the spirit of the Mother Earth, the Nawal of our connection to the shrines and to the altars, and I would like to say our connection to our magic. When we connect with the spirit of Mother Earth, that's where we discover our magic. That's where we, you know, kind of like ask her for what we might need or want. And in return, after she, you know, kind of like when she gives it to us, it's then up to us to look after Mother Earth, to do what we can to care for her, to help her, those kind of things. All of that is about our connection. And for me, 1 Ix, Hun Ix, is all about reconnecting to the Mother Earth, reconnecting to the spirit of Mother Earth, reconnecting to the magic of Mother Earth, and therefore reconnecting to our magic. Now, maybe we've been in a time where things have got a bit mundane, things have got a bit same, or whatever the case may be, and we kind of like need a little bit of revitalization. 1 Ix, of course, is a great day if you have an altar, a sacred site, a shrine close to you, to go and make an offering there to Mother Earth and, you know, kind of like ask to re-establish your connection. It's a great day to begin an environmental project to look after Mother Earth in a better way. But I think that this connection to our magic, our understanding of how we can magically connect with the Mother Earth, and to ask her to help us for whatever we need, and to ask how we can help her for whatever she needs from us as well. How can we care better for the Mother Earth? How can we care better for the shrines, the sacred spaces around us and the sacred space within us? For me, these might be questions to ask on the day 1 Ix, but also, you know, to go out in search of it and remember, like, it's time to reconnect. On the 6th of February, we will then go into Tzikin. So Tzikin, the Nawal of the bird, Tzikin, the Nawal of prosperity. Tzikin is here to help us to see where we're going. Tzikin is here to help us to have this focus on the way ahead. When we see it with the number 2, we see duality, we see choices, we see left or right. Which way are we going to focus? Where are we going to put our attention? Are we going to put our attention on this, or are we going to put our attention on that? And there is no middle ground. There's nothing in between. It's very binary, it's very polar in its nature. So Tu Tzikin may ask some rather, let's say, searching questions about where we're focusing, what we're choosing to be focused on, what is distracting us along the way. Because, kind of like, just as Tzikin can represent focus and vision, it can also represent distractions. And so, kind of like, if we look at something, is it a focus or is it a distraction? Because Tu Tzikin may highlight that in great detail. And if this is a time about reconnecting to our magic or reconnecting to Mother Earth, is, kind of like, when you take whatever these things may be, are they something that helps you to focus on Mother Earth? Are they something that helps you to focus on your magic? Or are they a distraction from your connection with the Earth? On the 7th of February, we will then move into 3 Achmach. So we have Achmach, the Nawal of forgiveness, and the number 3 representing the inner world, representing what's going on within us. Now, Achmach is the Nawal of the human. It's, we're human. Some things go right, some things go not quite so right, kind of like we don't necessarily set out to do the wrong thing. It just sometimes kind of like that's the way that things go. And if we hang on to it, it kind of stifles us, right? If we hang on to kind of like feeling guilty, shameful, or whatever it is about something, then it kind of kills our magic, I think, anyway. And that number 3 is really focusing on the inner world. So it's very much a kind of like looking within to see what's going on within. Like if 3 Achmach is about the forgiveness within, the forgiveness, like that it's not just coming from within us, but focused within us. Saying, right, okay, that wasn't my finest moment, but, because if we're constantly kind of like wringing our hands about stuff that, let's face it, is a long time ago in the past, or even if it's not in the long ago past, it's like it's done. We can't do anything about it. It's time to move on. Because, kind of like the more focus that we're putting on, guilt, blame or shame, the less focus we're putting on our magical connection with the Mother Earth. And so 3 Achmach is a great day to go within in order to forgive, to go within, to work out, if like I think of like shame, blame or guilt as being like rocks, the rocks we're carrying in our heart. How long do you want to carry them for? It's a great day to look within for forgiveness, to look within to forgive, and to look within to be forgiven. From 3 Achmach, on the 8th of February, we'll then go into 4 Noach. So we have Noach, the Nawal of the mind. Noach, Nawal of the, I like to think of it as the left hemisphere of the brain, because it's the logic, it's the knowledge, it's the problem-solving side of things. And Noach combined with the number 4 representing the physical plane of existence. 4 can represent, kind of like the square, boxy kind of thing. Very, very, maybe very logical in its own way as well. And so 4 is here to stabilize. 4 is here to act as the foundation. So it could be the foundation knowledge on which you can build. And, again, when we think about our connection with Mother Earth, sometimes, like, great, we can go intuitively, great, we can, kind of like go with our heart and like feel Mother Earth's spirit with our heart. But there's also some knowledge there to be had. There's some learning there that can help us to understand how better we can connect. It's like we do our best, we do what we think, we do what we feel. But maybe there is also some information out there that can help us to understand how we can really help Mother Earth, how we can really, kind of like what would be really good for our local environment in whatever way, shape or form that might take. Now, the number 4 can also represent practicality, and Noch is pretty practical in its own way. And so this is like putting our knowledge into practice, bringing that solution into a physical, material place. It doesn't mean that that solution has to be the kind of like the end of it. It's like that solution is something which is the foundation on which to be built. That solution may be the kind of like brown box version that we need to decorate up to make a little bit more interesting as we go along. Okay, so it's not really finalized, but it's a good, stable start. So on for Noch, if you can, use the information that you carry, use the knowledge that you hold to help to bring stability, to help to bring solutions to the natural world, to help to connect with the Mother Earth. On the 9th of February, we will then go into 5 Tihash. Okay, so Tihash, the Nawal of the Obsidian Blade. Tihash, the Nawal of the Healer, the Nawal of the Surgeon, the Nawal of Discernment, the Nawal of Purification. And here, with the number 5 representing work, we're going to have to put our work into what we're cutting, to put our work into our discernment. So again, kind of like when we want to connect with the Mother Earth, when we want to connect with the magic, with the sacred sites and all this kind of thing, to really engage our energy into our discernment, because there's a lot of stuff out there to be cut through. Maybe there's illusions to be cut through. Maybe there are things which, kind of like have stood in our way. And it's time to purify them. It's time to clear up. We could also see that 5 Tihash, whenever we're doing any kind of healing work, or whenever we're doing any kind of purification work, maybe we're doing a juice cleanse or something like that, it's like, well, okay, you could get them delivered to your door or something like that. But in general, it's going to require some effort, and particularly cleansing and purification. They're often things where, kind of like we feel like, right, this is going to be some hard work going through this. 5 Tihash is a perfect day for it. 5 Tihash is a perfect day to be putting your energy into that kind of purity process. Because for me, the 5 is always going to be repaid in the future. And it's going to be repaid in multiples in the future. So, kind of like it's a great day for working on healing. It's a great day for working on that purification, whatever shape that might take. On the 10th of February, we will then go into the day 6 Kawok. So we have Kawok, the Nawal of the rain, the Nawal of the storm, the Nawal of the midwives, the Nawal of the female healers. Now, as you can see, I don't think there's any rain coming. We've actually been in this intense cold snap, the coldest nights in 20 years in Guatemala, because there's this high pressure bringing all of this, these blue skies, and hopefully that's going to bring me some luck with some astrophotography later on in the month. Kawok, the one who's bringing the new into the world. Kawok, the one who is helping us, pushing us through to birth the new into the world. And here, combined with the number 6. The number 6 representing family, representing ultimate stability between the 4 cardinal points, the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth. Everything coming together to become stable. So, Kawok, sometimes I think of it can represent tough love. Sometimes I can think of it as being, it might be a little bit pushy, but it's pushy for the right reasons. It's getting us moving, it's getting us healing, it's getting us doing something. It's helping us to push that new life out into the world. But here is with that balanced number 6. The number 6, which helps to keep everything in its rightful place. The number 6, which can represent family. So it's like bringing something new into the family is one way that we can look at it. It's a great day to be working on healing. Again, kind of like if 5 Tihash was beginning of the, purification process, 6 Kawok may be very, very supportive going through that healing process. We can also see that 6 Kawok could be very much a day for stabilizing whatever it is that you want to bring into the world, because it's like you're connecting with the power of the heart of the earth and the heart of the sky, and manifesting that into the physical in order to wash away whatever obstacle might be standing in the path of your development, of your rebirth. Okay, so 6 Kawok is a really nice balanced day for healing work, a really good day for like a balanced day to be getting the new into the world. On the 11th of February, we will then go into the day 7 Arpo. 7 Arpo is a very interesting day. 7 Arpo is the uncle of the hero twins. In the Popol Vuh, Hun Arpo and Wukub Hun Arpo go into the underworld first. They are kind of like the father and the uncle. The father, Hun Arpo, well, his head is hung in a tree, and he kind of like gets resurrected by his sons, or by his children. Hunarpo and Ishbalam Kirch. Wukub Hunarpo, 7 Arpo, is the old son. And there is a way of looking at time where periods of time, eras, are measured as suns. And so the old sun could represent the old era. It could represent the old civilization. It could represent the old society. And 7 Arpo disappears into the underworld and is never seen or heard of again. Okay? So it can represent like the old society. Like, it's kind of like 7 can represent death and endings. And the sun, as I say, the end of an era is one way that it could be seen. It can also be seen, Arpo is about the leaders, and so it's kind of like the end of the leadership and that kind of thing. That can also be seen coming in there as well. Who knows what that might mean. However, there is also something with kind of like when one ends, a new one must be chosen, and the 7 could be seen as standing on top of the mountain, making the choice about the new one to come in. And there may be many options, because from the top of the mountain we can see this one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Which one is the right one to bring in? Well, we're going to, kind of like have to make a decision, and we're going to have to go with it. Arpo can also be about our connection to spirit, our connection to the ancestors. And here, with the number 7, you remember that this is the Trecena, about reconnecting with our magic, and 7 Arpo could be our choice about, which of the ancestral ways we connect with. It's kind of like it might be a day of finishing up one ancestral connection in order to choose our next one going forwards. And so it has that kind of like power to it. And as I said, we are finishing up a cycle in this Trecena as well. So it just kind of makes it even more interesting in that way. On the 12th of February, we then move into 8 Imosh. So Imosh, the Nawal of the lake. Imosh, the Nawal of water, the Nawal of the collective consciousness that connects us all together. The Nawal of the dream world. And here combined with the number 8. And so for me, I would certainly see the 8th day as being ceremonial day. I will be certainly making ceremony in my garden to celebrate the water. Okay? In a way, we could see that, yes, Ish I consider to be the most feminine of the Nawales. Imosh, of course, is up there representing the great bodies of water of the world. And, this ceremonial day to celebrate our connection to water, to celebrate our connection to each other as well. And I would say all life on Earth, because all life on Earth exists because of water, or physical life anyway, kind of like anything that has cellular generation going on has to have water involved. And so water connects us to all life on Earth, and all life on Earth is nourished by the spirit of Mother Earth, by Ish. So Ish and Imosh I sort of see as having this sort of syncretism going on together. Washikib Imosh, 8 Imosh, a day to see the whole dream. A day to make your ceremony, to give thanks to the water, to make your water blessing, to work on the water in whatever way, shape or form, to bring harmony to that water, because what you put out into that field will resonate out throughout humanity. And so it's a great day to be making your ceremony, to be making your blessings for the water, not just on your behalf of yourself, but on behalf of everybody else as well. The 13th of February is the first day of the Tzaping Ich being the 5 final days of the Mayan solar year. It begins this time around with the day 9 Ich. 9 Ich, which I like to call the breath of life. We have Ich representing the wind, representing the breath which, animates us. And the number 9 representing life and representing the feminine. 9 Ich is a powerful day. It is a day of independence. It is a day of femininity. And it may well be a day on which female voices may be highlighted. The 9 can bring strength. The 9 can bring independence. And so it's strong, independent speech may be made on 9 Ich. And for me, more and more, when I call Ich in ceremony, I ask us all to stop and take a breath and think about the breath of life and think about every breath that we take and give thanks for it. 9 Ich is a wonderful day to do that and to be very aware of the way that you use your words, what you bring to life through your words. So, as I said, this is the first day of the Tzaping Ich, and so that will also bring some other qualities because it's a day of introspection, to be thinking about what we have done in the past 360 days, in the 13 Ich year that we've been in. And on this 9 Ich day, perhaps this is a day to think about, kind of like what we have chosen to bring to life with our words, and maybe what we didn't bring to life through our words. On the 14th of February, we then go into the day 10 Akabal. So we have Akabal representing the dusk and the dawn. Akabal representing that time between the worlds, that time between day and night. And here combined with the number 10 representing community and society. It's the second day of the Tzaping Ich. And again, very reflective in its nature. Akabal can be seen about bringing new concepts into the world. And so we might question over the last 360 days, what new concepts have we brought in? What have we helped to usher in? Akabal, I often think, well, as you can see, maybe you can see the quality of light is such that I'm recording this just before sunset as we're going into Akabal right now. But the other side of it, of course, is the sunrise, is what is revealed from the darkness by the rising sun, what is brought into the light. So Akabal days can be days on which those revelations might happen, on which, kind of like things which have been hidden in the darkness suddenly get brought to light. Now, we see that with the number 10 representing cooperation, representing community, representing, it's like hands coming together in cooperation. And so 10 Akabal, the community coming together to bring out of the darkness anything that has been hidden, to bring it into the light. We can also see if Akabal can represent our new concepts, and the number 10 can represent communities, like new concepts that we can either bring into the community or new concepts for our community. These may be interesting places to focus on that 10 Akabal day. From 10 Akabal on the 15th of February, we will then move into the third day of the Tzaping Ich on the day 11 Cat. So we have Cat, the Nawal of the net. Cat, it's like our bag that we carry, that we are harvesting everything that we've been growing into our bag. So it carries all of the, all of the fruits of our labor, all of our good stuff, everything that's going to fuel our journey and all that kind of thing. But after a while, it starts to get too heavy and we can't move forwards because we're then carrying the burden. And we have to work out what we want to hold on to and what we want to let go of. Now, that third day of the Zapping Greek is an excellent day to be looking at that and saying, right, okay, what am I carrying from last year that I don't want to take forwards into the next year? To use the energy of this day 11 Cat to help us to determine, what we want to stay attached to and what we want to let go of, because there's stuff that, kind of like it might have been very relevant in that 13 Ix year. It might have been, kind of like, oh, it's so 2025, right? Just put it like that, if you excuse the phrase. But it's kind of like, what do we need to carry forwards anymore? What are we done with? What have we had enough of hearing about or listening to, or all of those kind of things? We're going to cut our connection and let ourselves be free from it. And in this time of Zapping, which is exactly, let's say, designed into the year for this kind of like retrospection, for this cleansing, for this, kind of like that turning over of the year and saying, kind of like, how can I prepare myself to enter into this new year in the best possible way? 11 Cat gives us exactly that possibility. Now the 11, of course, we're seeing it over there and over there and over there and over there and over there, and we're not sure which way it's going to go next, and it may bring some very, I'm going to say, like left field things coming in, because kind of like sometimes it's that thing you didn't even realize that you were attached to it, right? You feel, oh no, I was free of that. I'm sure I cut that rope, kind of like years ago. Oh, now I feel what's been dragging me back, right? And so maybe these are things that come in intuitively, because the 11, like for me, I talk about it being like walking the road, which is not necessarily the logical path, following our intuition, which is going to take us in some unusual directions in order to find things that we didn't expect to find. So it's kind of like 11 Cat could be a great day for, let's say, removing the attachments that we didn't even realize that were there. Because while we were taking the logical path, it never showed us the illogical attachments. And so, like 11 Cat gives us the opportunity to release ourselves from them. On the 16th of February, the fourth day of the Zapping Ik, we then move into the day 12 Can. So Can, the Nawal of power, Can, the Nawal of wisdom, the Nawal of teachers. And here, combined with the number 12, suggesting bringing together all of our life experience into one bundle. Can, in its highest aspect, is the one who passes on that experience, the one who passes on that wisdom in order to empower others, in order to help people to see through illusions, overcome them, and become empowered. It helps us to understand what we want to bundle together, because this 12 is like writing the autobiography. And so this could be, our wisdom bundle. Again, this works beautifully into these days of the Zapping Greek, because we've kind of like gone through those days when we worked out where we went wrong, we worked out what we want to let go of, but now we want to work out what we want to keep. And the 12 Can could be very much seen as this ability to bundle up together the wisdom that we want to take forwards into the new year. To bundle together that which is going to sustain us, that which is going to help us to see through illusions, that which is going to help us to empower others. So, kind of like it's bringing together the collective works of your teacher or whatever it might be in order to empower yourself and others going into that new year, so that whatever illusions come up, and let's say whoever tries to have power over us, brings us the wisdom and understanding to help to overcome it. And then finally, the big day, 13 Kamei. 13 Kamei, which will fall on the 17th of February, the fifth and final day of the Tapping Gig. Now, it is a big day because it's the fifth and final day of the Tapping Gig. It is a big day because it's Oshlahu Kamei, when the veil is at its thinnest, because we have Kamei representing death, representing the ancestors, and we have the number 13 representing the ancestors and spirit. Okay, and so it is a day on which we may find ourselves extremely connected with the ancestors. As I've said many times before, we might see Samhain as the thinning of the veils and that kind of thing, but 13 Kamei from the Cholk-Ik perspective is exactly like that. I mean, maybe you want to go to a medium or get a message from, kind of like from the departed or whatever. The whole point is it probably won't take much effort on 13 Kamei because they're coming through loud and clear. Now, Kamei can also represent the transformations that we go through when we face our fears. And so, kind of like there's that aspect of it as well, and that's cranked up to 13. So it's kind of like almost like it could be the ancestors sending us fears. It's like, okay, you think you're ready, do you? Here you go, try this one for size or whatever the case may be. But of course, it's also the ancestors connecting with us to help us to overcome those fears. And that's a really important bit. They won't send anything until we're ready to overcome it. Okay, and perhaps it's through the understanding the words of the ancestors that helps us to do that. And of course, that ability to transform, the alchemistic process that we go through that connection with the ancestors, is something which helps us to reconnect with our magic, which is what that Trecena Hun Ish is all about. Okay, but there is a couple of other things that I want to bring into this as well, because it's not just about what's going on within the calendar. It's not just that it is the final day of the year 13 Ix. It's not just that, kind of like it is this connection with the ancestors. It is also the day of a solar eclipse. If I remember it rightly, it'll be over Antarctica, so there's very few of us. I think there's just a little bit the South Island of New Zealand and southeast coast of Australia. I think maybe they're going to see it, but otherwise most of the world won't see that eclipse. But still, it's going to have an effect, I'm sure. The other thing that always interests me, of course, is that it will also be, it's also noted in the Dresden Codex that on the day 13 Kamei, that Venus will reappear as the evening planet. And so Venus as an evening planet is always, the first few days is always difficult to spot. You'll probably just about see it right after sunset. You'll see Venus kind of like follow the sun down into the western earth, as it were. Okay, and of course, a Venus event within the Dresden Codex, these usually bring about some kind of like interesting change. So as I say, this is why I see, kind of when I was creating my calendar PDF, I could hardly fit all the glyphs in for what was going on that 13 Kamei day. So I think it is going to be a very, very powerful day. It is the final day of that solar year. 13 Ich is done. It is gone. And the following day we will move into the new year, the year 1 Kech, and I will be making ceremony at my home at 6 a.m. If people are around the lake and want to come along, everybody is welcome for a sunrise ceremony to welcome the year 1 Kech in 13 days' time. So I hope that has been interesting to you. Hopefully there was a few other bits that aren't normally in there that have added a little bit of variation in, and I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time for the new Trecena and new year of Hun Kech. Thank you.